Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Seal Podcast, episode number 256 for January the 10th, 2024. My name is Fraser. I am joined on my left by Dave.
Oh.
And on my right by Neil.
Hi.
Welcome, gents. Welcome, all listeners. Thank you very much for joining us. This is our Game of the Year show
2024.
for 2024. And we're all very excited.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Super
It's a good
hyped.
show. It's a good
Amped
show.
and hyped.
You boys all right?
Oh.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah,
good, thank you.
groovy.
Good.
It's better than it was looking at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock this morning or whatever. So yeah.
You've had a day of it, haven't you?
Well, my wife's had more of a day of it because she went to hospital with Adam last night,
Right.
and it's been there till like 8 o'clock tonight or whatever.
Mm.
7 o'clock. So yes.
Yeah, don't need that.
No.
Poor lad. All right. Well, the main thing, we got to keep motoring, otherwise we're going to get stuck in hours of content. I've got to do my work here, make sure we keep on track.
Don't be fucking it up, will you?
No, I'll probably fuck it up. It doesn't matter. Let's go through football quickly. Let's go through what we've been doing quickly, and then we'll get on to the game of the year. There's no reason to dwell too long on stuff. So over to you, Mr. Real Kahuna.
Nice.
Mr.
Hey,
Kahuna.
Mr. Kahuna, if you don't mind, yes. So, week 20 has come and gone on the Fantasy Premier League and the real Premier League. And we have a new leader. Is this the first time he's been top? I think it might be. Luciano. Been getting bigged up by his mate Lewis, among others, for some time about how he's going to crack the code and win by a country mile.
We said that. We could.
Well, he was a late entrant last year and he finished strong, didn't he?
Yeah, you knew he was making good decisions. You could see it.
Yeah, well, maybe his good decisions have run out. I don't know. He's gone top, but maybe because who was top had an even shitter week than he did in terms of average points. So they were definitely both, the top two were both below average points.
Yeah, all the good teams were below average this week.
No. No. David Kinsit was quite a lot below average. He was only on 44 last week. So there's been like the ones who've been there knocking on the door and all that. It's taken root in those positions at the top. They're all not so good last week. Why is that, do we think? Didn't have Burmo, probably, as one.
Maybe.
If he didn't get the points last week. Or Haaland. Or maybe it was that Salah didn't score 50 points if you had him as captain or whatever last week. But yeah, so Luciano top, Nathan's dropped second. Lewis, Gobby Lewis, has moved up to third. And Joel is in fourth still. There are 2 points covering the top 4 teams.
Nice.
So it's pretty close. And it's only another 6 points back to Mr. Kinsit. And then only another 2 points after that to Mr. Barkley. Then there's a bit of a gap. But it's definitely not a gap that couldn't be bridged.
You still got eyes on it?
I'm nearly 100 points behind, but I did gain nearly 20 points on top last week. So, you know,
over the season, anything's possible.
20 points I gained last week.
Yeah.
So you never know. But I got the same points as Lewis last week. So it's close. It's close. There's competitive. I can't think of another way to say that, but there we go.
Okay.
Can't see you anywhere, Fraser.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, you did go up. You did go up last week. You've got a green arrow in the league. You got 57 last week. You got the same as number one.
Well, this is what I'm saying, right? You know, all the top teams.
Top teams.
I'm like,
if the league is upside down, you'd be fifth.
Oh no, I'm dropping. That's all right. I'm trying to figure out my goals at the moment. What are my realistic goals?
How about not finishing bottom?
Not finishing bottom is definitely a realistic goal. I think right now I'm just eyeing up 15th. I'm not saying top 10. I'm just eyeing up 15th, but it's still miles away.
That's only 50 points. Piece of piss, mate.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was a
little bit set yourself sights a bit higher than that, mate. Go for top 10.
I will. Just whatever. Well, we'll take it as it comes, but top 10 would be good if I can make top 10.
Yeah, you'd be relatively. That would be redemption.
I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell I'm going to make top 10, but
you never know. You never know. Everyone else might just give up.
It's a funny old game, isn't it? Football.
Maybe you get on Haaland at the right time, triple captain him when he scores about 15 goals against some random team. I don't know. Don't captain him this weekend, though. Don't bother captaining anyone this weekend because it's a FA Cup this weekend. Next game's a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
I've just looked,
for the Premier League.
On my team. I left 19 points on the bench.
Ooh! You had Mbeumo on the bench, didn't you?
Oh, mate, that was the 19 points.
Yeah.
You made it sound like loads of players scored 19 points. Nope, just one.
Just one, yeah.
Yeah, and Mbeumo was the man to have last week. He absolutely smashed it. Which is
come off your bench for your points. You didn't.
No, somehow he's got even shitter players that are still playing.
Third on your bench. How is he third on your bench?
Because all the other good players he put in front of him.
Yeah.
Never mind. Arnie says he's got loads of points last week. Shame about his captain though. 83 points for Arnie last week with the wrong captain.
Is that?
Everyone captained Salah basically. Everyone basically captained, like where everyone used to just captain Haaland and fuck off and not look at their team ever again. Now everyone does that with Salah.
Yes.
And he wasn't the man to have last week. Not as captain anyway. But he has been pretty good up until that.
Yeah, right.
It's not like he did nothing.
No.
Sumu makes a good point. Oh, he captained Haaland. He's had Haaland for a while. I don't know if he ever got rid of him, but he's had Salah as well, so he's been putting up with Haaland's shit returns. And then he was the man last week, scored 13 last week, and 26 as captain. Sumu makes a good point. He says he's got to save some money for the manager chip. They announced the prices for the manager chip today. Have you seen?
No, I don't even
Ranging from... Well, it's the new chip. So basically, you get to pick a real-life manager, one of the Premier League managers, and if you're concerned about picking like one of the lower clubs, if, for example, they leave or get sacked, it just transfers to you stick with the club. Like you get 3 game weeks with a manager getting points, including things like 5 points for a win or something like that. I can't remember all the points now, but basically, if whatever they do against a team like 5 places or more above them in the league, actual league, then you get bonuses. So instead of like 5 points for a win, it's like 10 points for a win or something if they beat someone more than 5 places above them in the league. It's a little bit... I can't be doing an explanation now. If you play in the game, make sure you read what needs to be done and what points are available and think about what you're going to do with your assistant manager, because there's some bargains. Because like Forest have obviously been very good. Don't like to say it, but they have been. Their manager Nuno is, I think he's 1.1 million or maybe 1.5. No, 1.1 I think he is. But they're like third in the league. So if they're still third in the league when you play the assistant manager and you pick Nuno, then he can't beat anyone more than 5 places above him in the league. Obviously.
Right.
But the likes of maybe Ruben Amorim at Man United gets their shit together in the next few weeks, but in time to play the chip. They've got quite a few teams more than 5 places above them in the league that they could play, potentially. I don't know how the fixtures work out. But that's something to bear in mind.
Why would they introduce this mid?
I don't know. Maybe people were getting bored.
No, you know what it is. They're just going to keep driving it, adding stuff. They're going to fucking nickel and dime the shit out of it at some point, and it's going to... It's the beginning of the end, honestly. It has to be.
You're just a grumpy old man.
No, I'm someone who's been doing fantasy football since the 90s.
Exactly, a grumpy old man.
Yeah, fuck. Why are they going to keep changing it?
They haven't changed it that much since they're back in the old days, have they?
Manager chip. What the hell?
Oh. They did have I think they've had other bonus chips in the
Neil,
past.
The world needs people like me who complain and challenge.
The
Not people like you who
fucking
roll
thank
over
God
and
there's
say,
about
"All
a
right,
billion of you.
I'm just gonna rub my tummy and everything will be fine." Fuck that. Are you drinking from a bottle of wine?
Yes, straight from the bottle. It's not wine.
This is what you
Wow.
drive him to.
It's a good look. You could have kept that one going. All right, are we done with football? I'm done with football.
Yeah, you're well and truly done. You are. We
That's
better
me.
quickly nip over to the head-to-head.
Come on, because we're on 20 minutes now.
All right, fucking hell, Jesus Christ!
Move on then. Talking about the fucking manager chip for 10
My
hours.
God. I keep looking at the chat. But you do. Anyway, Mr. Kinsit still top in the head-to-head. 6 points clear. Back to a 6-point gap. He lost last week. I think Luciano lost as well. Is that right? And then I can't remember now. But no, actually, they both won, didn't they?
Did I win?
Did you fuck? You're 5 points adrift at the bottom of David Biles. Who's this David Biles guy who's second from bottom in the head-to-head?
Seal represent.
Fucking hell. I had a win last week for the first time in a while. I was playing Daisy Reed, who just hasn't fucking done her team since day one. So it was close though. It was a bit close.
He still struggles.
It's like Solanke's captain. She's had Solanke's captain. So if Solanke goes to town one week and you don't want to be playing Daisy Reed in the head-to-head if Solanke goes and scores 2 or 3 goals.
No, dead teams can still be dangerous.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Kinsit, Luciano, and Lou are the top 3, and the other Lou, Estevez, is 4th. Barkley, the Forest fans, are all fucking clumping up at the top of these leagues. We need to sort them out.
Clumping up.
There's like 4 out of the top 6, isn't it? Of Forest boys on the head-to-head. Anyway, hopefully we'll make him look silly at the weekend.
A missionary expedition, hasn't he? He's gone on a missionary expedition to the simple back country, right? And to try to bring culture.
He's influenced
his Nottingham culture to them, his football culture, and these poor people. Oh well.
Yeah, Mr. Defo says you're a bit low. I don't know.
Am I?
You are looking a bit low on the chat, but I can hear you fine. It's weird. It's looking a bit low on the levels. Maybe you were both a bit low. Maybe it's gone there. There we go. Let's up that. Up the both of you.
My volume looks to be where it should be.
Well, I'll up both my end.
All right. Is that football? Are we done?
Yeah, fuck it. Football's done. Anyway, just to add on quickly, Defoe's in the chat. He says F Haaland. Whatever that means.
I don't know.
Press F for Haaland.
Press F for Haaland.
All right.
I pressed the wild card for Haaland last week. So there we go.
All right. We're football done. Right. Let's move on then to what done. That is all. Right. What have we been doing? Okay. Let's start with Dave's tooth extraction because he was not here last week.
No. Yes. Apologies for last week. I literally couldn't speak.
No need to apologize.
I'd had tooth pain since about Boxing Day. Well, actually, you went after Christmas. We went on Boxing Day. We went to Blenheim Palace.
Blenheim. Isn't that
Blenheim.
Is that Winston Churchill's old pad? Isn't it?
It is Winston Churchill. That's where a golden toilet was stolen from as well.
Oh
yeah. Yes, a couple of years ago.
Donald Trump got it. I mean, he is a convicted criminal now. So get it on.
Yes. So it's a Christmas light show. So basically, you walk around the grounds at night, and they've got all music and Christmas trees decorated, and like light shows and stuff. And really nice. It was a really good day out actually. It took about an hour to get there, and it was really foggy, so it was actually pretty cool. Yeah. So, but while I was there, I was like, do you know when something with your tooth just isn't right? And you're like, it doesn't feel right. It feels a bit sharp.
Right.
I was like, don't know why. I've had like toothache. Like, well, I didn't realize that I kind of had tooth pain for a while. But yeah, it was like definitely like something's wrong here. So next day, I rang up the doctors, and I was 23rd in the queue at 9 o'clock in the morning. For fuck's sake. So I thought, sod it, I can book online. So I went online. The next available was on Friday, the Friday that we recorded last week. I thought I'll go in, see what they say. I was thinking it was just gonna be a filling or something, or a filling had fallen out. Looked at it and went, yeah, it's your wisdom tooth, and it's half sheared off, and your nerve is showing. I was like,
Ooh.
that's
Right.
why it hurts.
Right.
So like, yeah, we'll have that out. I was like, oh, okay, fine.
Have
fair
you
enough.
had any wisdom teeth out before?
I did have my top left one out about
I was going to
3 years
say,
ago.
oh, I feel like somebody had a wisdom tooth out on this show, didn't they? Not long ago, but
I've
maybe
had
not.
molars out, but not wisdom teeth.
Oh, I've had one wisdom tooth out.
But yeah, when I had my other wisdom tooth out, that was excruciating. That was only NHS, and I swear they didn't numb it properly or anything. But this time around, I was like,
NHS
basically,
dentist or NHS hospital.
it was a dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this time round, I was like, proper numbed the whole half of my face.
Yes. It's definitely working.
Yeah. But they'd numbed it and said, "Well, give it a couple of minutes to go to take effect. Do you want to swallow your mouth out?" And I was just drinking water. I was like, I haven't been able to drink water properly like for about 3 days. Because it was since boxing, just after the day after Boxing Day, which is Thursday. I don't know, but I think I was dehydrated as well. But yeah, they whipped it out. That was weird having the sound of your and the basically your face being tugged off.
It's not a
I
pleasant
remember
experience.
that from when I had my wisdom tooth out, just the cracking, and it was almost like
Yeah.
they were breaking down concrete at the back
I,
of your mouth.
I honestly thought they were going to crush it. The amount of force that we're using to try and yank it out, I thought that it was going to be crushed by the tool, but no, he got it out. He was like, "Oh, this is a good one. It's got 4 prongs, roots."
Roots.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said, yeah, you're going to be a bit sore after this one.
Oh, good.
Did you give it? Did you get to keep it?
No. It looks
Make a little monster out of them if you keep them all, right? Yeah.
I did ask how much the tooth fairies take for wisdom teeth, and he says this is a £1 one. So,
Oh, nice.
Pound?
so but I said, oh, you
Fuck
can
me. It's a bit cheap, isn't it? Well, I don't know.
It's always been 50p.
Probably quite heavy for a little fairy to carry a massive wisdom tooth around, isn't it? Well, they don't really weigh a lot, do they, Dave? I suppose when you think about it, even a big one.
If you got hundreds of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had it out, and yeah, literally, I'm still on painkillers. I had like a big bruise down here. Yeah.
Did you have it packed in with some nice stuff to like make it not get infected?
No, they just gave me a bit of gauze to bite down on for half hour, and then took that out, and then just said swallow it out with salt water. And
Yeah, you didn't get the dry socket infection. Ugh.
I did.
That fucking hurts, man.
I bet
I've had that.
Did you have it? Were you a smoker at the time?
No.
I was. I think that's what did it for me. I was smoking at the time.
I just like the clock came off of mine, and it was just like, fuck me, that hurts.
Oh, did you like pull the whole like?
I didn't pull it; it just fucking came out. The clot came out. It was just like, I don't know. When you're swilling it with water, it's like, there's a big lump floating around in my mouth now. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, mine healed up like after about a day and a bit. Like no bleeding or anything, so it healed really quickly. But yeah, I was saying it felt just like I've been punched right there. And yeah, I got all swelled up, and it all came up. But yeah, that was my exciting Friday last week. But yeah, sort of haven't been 100% since. Getting better now. I'm on a bit now, so I'm good.
Yes.
All right, good. Proper medicine.
Is that Carlsberg?
Green King IPA.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you was on Carlsberg, you weren't really on the beers.
No.
All right, what's next?
Well, the healthy glow.
You said I look quite tanned.
I spotted it, didn't I? As soon as we got on, I said,
yeah,
Dave looks like he's caught the sun.
So the missus had a genius idea about a month ago to say, why don't we rent a sunbed in the house?
What?
Yeah, you can rent a sunbed for about 120 quid for a month, and just have it set up in your.
You got too much fucking money, you look.
Well,
didn't we establish that he hasn't already? Is that on the credit card?
The missus that was on the missus is
paying for it. Paying for it over 12 months. You rent it for a
I
month,
owe
but
money
you
on
only
a
pay
credit
£10
card,
a
so
month.
we'll rent a sunbed. Brilliant.
So she was like, she was looking into like doing some sunbeds anyway, because we think she gets the SAD. Does it like not enough sunlight?
Mhm.
Vitamin D
she said
deficiency, is it? Is it
yeah,
vitamin D?
she's on vitamin D's and everything.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
but she was like, well, I'll just look at like
What's wrong,
booking.
Neil?
Great bit of vitamin D, if you know what I mean.
But like booking one in a sunbed place in town, it was really expensive. And she heard from one of her friends. It's like, yeah, it wasn't actually that expensive to get the equipment, just a mobile stand-up unit sent to your house for a month. And it cost her like a third of what it would have cost her for.
And you can spend all day in it.
I didn't spend all that. Well, I spent 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
So your podcast does not recommend spending all day in a sunbed.
Absolutely not.
So I only did it like every other day for like 5 minutes. Bit of a tan. Didn't get burnt. It was a bit cold to start with.
They don't give off warmth.
No. Well, they do actually. Well, you feel warm after doing
Oh,
it.
if you've burned yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
What do they recommend? 5 minutes max or something?
5 minutes max. Yeah, that's equivalent to like
what, per 10 minutes?
30 minutes. No, per day, once a day.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it's equivalent to like
You can just walk outside for 5 minutes.
Not with no clothes on, you can't.
Well, this is true. Well, you can, but might get some funny looks.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point.
The temperatures are like they are today, you definitely might get some funny looks.
It's a good point, because I go out and it's, I mean, with our cold weather here, it's sunny and it's lovely, but there's only like this bit exposed, right? Just the front, just my face. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's all anyone else needs, let's be honest.
Yeah.
In fact, that might be a bit much.
All right. So how long? So the sunbed's here for another couple of weeks?
No, it's been and gone. Yeah.
Oh, you've had it in the month already?
Had it the month already. Yeah, start of December.
Kept that a bit quiet, didn't you?
Oh, so it's been that long since he's been on the show.
All right. Okay. Cool. Neil, what you got on there? Is that you, Dave? Done? Sorry.
I'm done. Yeah, that's pretty much my last couple of weeks. Yeah.
Neil sounds good, actually. Mine isn't. I'm going to go with mine. I just put here calculators. It's only because it was just a very strange thing that midweek, and I use a calculator for work, and I've used a calculator for work forever, right? I mean, it's not unusual.
How do you use it? Do you type in 5318008?
Yes, all the time. There's my calculator, little solar calculator, sharp, does the job, very nice. But it just wasn't working this week, and I was like, well, it's solar, why isn't it working? And then I read the manual. I was like, yeah, the battery's in there, the battery's probably gone. So the solar is only a little bit supplemental to the battery. It just, whatever. So I opened it up, changed the battery, and I was like, well, that's cool. I'm changed the battery, and the calculator was back to normal. I'm like, how often does that ever happen? You got to change the battery in a calculator.
This is quite exciting.
Next day, my daughter comes up and she says, Dad, my calculator's not working. She handed me her calculator. I had to change the battery in that one. I was like, this is a bit bonkers. Like, I've never...
Maybe someone set off some magic calculator battery bomb that just killed all calculator batteries.
I don't know.
It's like an EMP just for calculator batteries.
When was the last time you changed a battery in a calculator?
I actually had to take one apart this year to try and change the battery.
That's right.
It's bizarre.
Okay, well, what's going on this year then? Is this their all...
And it was quite an old calculator, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's an LR22 battery or something. It's like fucking...
These both took LR44s.
Well, maybe it was a 44, I can't remember.
I don't know. It just seemed like a bit of... I mean, I love a good coincidence. You know, I'm totally believe, you know, the amount of people in the world and all the sort of shit that goes on, massive coincidences are completely possible and inevitable, right?
What, when there's like 9 billion people on the planet?
Yeah, I love a good coincidence. Like, you know, it's fine. But that's just an odd one that we had this week. I thought it was a bit
well, how about them? Spooky. Are there as many calculators as there are people on the planet?
Is it just simple that you bought both calculators at the same time?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Madeline's is a second-hand one. It's probably like 20 years old. Mine, I bought.
Well, that's lasted well, unless they probably changed the battery beforehand.
Well, unless they never used it, right? You know.
Yeah. So don't they have a life expectancy batteries? Don't they?
Maybe it's the first time my daughter's turned it on.
Yeah. Why was she using a calculator?
Maths.
Maths.
Yep.
We speak proper here.
She needed to do some weird number stuff.
You can take that S off the Legos and put it on math, and then you get everything right over there.
Then everything would be correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I tell you what, saying that, something that really annoys me when people are speaking, it's not Tesco's.
No.
It's never Tesco's. There's no plural of Tesco. It's just Tesco. But
If you was going to a place where there were two Tesco, I guess you could go to Tesco's.
Yeah.
But that would be odd.
But yeah, people say it all the time, and it's yeah.
It is Sainsbury's though, by the way,
It is Sainsbury's
because it's an apostrophe S.
Yes.
Because it's
Yes,
a shop belonging
Mr.
to
Sainsbury.
Sainsbury.
To Mr. Sainsbury.
Yeah. Whereas
Right.
Tesco wasn't named after a person.
All right, we're not allowed these diversions. Okay, let's move back. Here we go. Realign the ship, everyone. Neil, what have you got in there? PC, what's going on?
PC is well, my boy's been ill again. Been back in hospital for 24 hours. But prior to him going back to hospital, we'd ordered his Christmas/birthday present, and it arrived today. It is a new PC.
Ooh.
So we bought a pre-built. No fannying
Bang.
about. He's got a better graphics card than me.
What's he got?
He's got MSI GeForce RTX 4070 Super.
Ooh.
Whip that out. Put it in yours.
That's what he said. He's
That's
probably
right.
just going to swap these over. I was like, no, I'll get a 50 in a month. I said, it's definitely I'm getting one for my birthday if I can.
What have you got in yours at the moment?
3080.
Oh.
They're not far off each other. His is more thermally efficient. But my CPU is better than his. I was like, should I get him the latest and greatest motherboards so that it's easier to upgrade in future? And I was like, nah, fuck it. So he's got.
He's not going to bottleneck this.
No, it's not. It's not. No, he's got a 5700X 3D in his. So it was the first time AMD did the 3D V-cache thing, which is good for gaming. So it's Ryzen 7 and the 4070 Super. 32 gig of DDR4 RAM.
Nice.
And it was £1,300. I was like, that doesn't sound like a lot of money for all of that.
That's not bad.
It's a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But for what he's got, I feel like it wasn't actually that bad. Pre-built literally came in 2 days. So
Yeah, nice.
Did
he hit a milestone birthday for that?
He's 16 in February. And obviously he's had a pretty shit December and we didn't really get much of
Yeah,
Christmas.
fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, I'm glad he's got a machine that's going to run Fortnite that way.
He plays a lot of Football Manager, to be fair. So hopefully there's better CPU and he's fully SSD'd up on PCIe 4 and all that shit now.
How's his mouse and keyboard skills coming along?
Getting better. Well, you've seen him. He's all right. He's a natural.
No, I know. I fully, I know as you do, and they just need to get going, right? Just get going on mouse and keyboard. You've got to just train yourself up. The kids can all do it. They just need that little push.
I honestly can't ever see him doing Fortnite though. Fortnite on mouse and keyboard. That's a lot of unlearning.
You were saying that the other day. Yeah,
because he's
saying that he's.
It's insane.
Yeah. Oh well, good for him.
Watching his hands move on that controller, it's like a blur. It's like you know when what's his name?
Fist
Pinball
of
Wizard.
Fury.
Like Pinball Wizard, but with a Fortnite with an Xbox controller. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
And he can see at the moment, so not really like Tommy at all.
But he has got an alcoholic father, though.
Tommy's got a better hair. Did he eat eggs a lot, his dad, or something? Is that right?
I don't know. Wasn't it Ollie Reed was his dad or something?
I don't know. Honestly, it was a long time since I've seen that film. I just remember it being a little bit fucked up.
Of course. All right. We're good?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the game of the year. Okay. Right. For those who don't know, Game of the Year format is this. We do our top 5 games. We have top 5 games from a number of listeners who've sent them in as well. We assign a score of the top 5 games. Number 5 for first, number 4 for second. 5 points for first, 4 points for second, 3 points for third, 2 points for fourth, 1 point for fifth. We try and keep a spreadsheet. We try not to screw it up like I did last year, and then we'll get some sort of...
We'll try and keep tabs on you this time. Maybe you should...
We'll have some sort of answer at the end.
an answer.
Last year, so last year we were talking about this before the show. I screwed it up, but I think if I'd done it properly, Starfield would have been Game of the Year.
Which was obviously wrong.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. I screwed it up properly.
You did it right. You made it right by screwing up.
Made it right. Yeah, it was good. That's a first.
What was Game of the Year last year? Can you remember?
No.
Should have checked that, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
I went back and looked at. I had to listen to a couple of episodes over the last year. I don't remember why. There's a couple of things I was like, oh yeah, what was that all about? I'm about to go and have a listen. I can't remember now which ones. Only two.
How do we want to do the format then?
So, what do you want to do? Everyone else's first.
It was Alan Wake 2 was top billing,
Really?
followed by Zelda. Yeah, Fraser put the Excel spreadsheet in the chat. Alan Wake 2, Zelda, Hogwarts, Lives of Pi, Mario Wonder,
Lives of P.
Starfield.
It's like Lives of Pi. I don't remember that.
Yeah, sorry. It's a small image. Yeah. There you go.
Well, we have 5 lists from people. I mean, we could do somebody's list, then we could do our 5, then we could do somebody else's list and whatever. I think.
Let's
try and
get
mix
all of
it up
them.
a little bit.
I don't know. Get all of your listener stuff out of the way, I reckon.
Okay, all right, we can do that. All right, first, let's do that first then. Let's go first with Just Wondering. He was there to send it first. That's Paul, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Unless someone stole his moniker from Twitter's.
So Paul has, and Dave, you're going to keep note of this, are you? Are you doing the
yeah,
spreadsheet?
I've already done a spreadsheet for these. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, perfect. So, somebody want to read them out? I am doing enough talking.
Do you want to go 5 to 1?
Sure.
Okay, so in number 5, just imagine the Top of the Pops music playing in the background from the 90s.
The sign of the swinging cymbal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called.
Is it? Which one are you talking
that
about?
Was the one for pop pickers.
Mate, that's not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Top of the Pops from the 90s, which is definitely not that. Anyway, number 5, it's Resident Evil 4 Remake. You got that, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
Have you already put all of these in?
I've already put them on.
Okay, good man. Good work. Right, at number 4, Silent Hill 2 Remake. There's a bit of a theme going on there. There's a bit of a theme going on. Number 3, things get a bit switched up here. It's Star Wars Outlaws.
Really? Can't say I know anything about that game.
I heard the CADcast this week. Mr. Wombat talking about how it was his number 3, I believe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, as in they sorted a lot of the shitty bits out with few patches.
Yeah.
And it's actually an all-right game now.
Right. Interesting. Maybe worth a look-see.
It was on half price on the Christmas sale, I believe. Maybe even 60% off. It's a Ubisoft game. They will fucking go well cheap. So
it'll be cheap later. Yeah.
Probably be able to pick it up for a tenner soon. Number 2, a PlayStation game you may have heard about called Stellar Blade. You probably haven't heard about it.
I've heard about it, and certainly in one of in my other group that I hang out in with all the professionals, they talk about this a lot. A lot of them really like this. I don't know anything about it.
It was a game with the girl with the big butt, but they had to make her butt smaller, and then everyone complained, I believe, or something like that. I say everyone. Not everyone complained, obviously.
Brilliant.
But yeah, people who enjoyed a big butt. What was his name? I can't remember the guy who liked big butts and couldn't lie. But yeah, I guess he was one of the people complaining.
Tone Loc.
It wasn't Tone Loc. Anyway.
Do you know what I nearly bought yesterday?
Tone Loc? Funky Cold Medina?
I was really hovering over whether to buy it. It was a salt and pepper shakers with salt and pepper, the wrappers on it.
Well, what about Spinderella?
I think there was somebody was doing a set where there were 3 of them in Spinderella.
What does she have in her? If you pardon the expression.
I don't know. I have no idea. Sorry, derail. What's he got as his number 1?
Number 1, Dragon's Dogma 2. A game that Dave played and I played. But Dave, did you actually finish the game? I think you did, didn't you? Well, you got near the end at least.
Close to the end. I didn't finish it, but it's still installed.
Yeah, same here.
Go back to it.
Turns out there was quite a lot of games last year.
I feel like Dragon's Dogma 2 is a game I should be playing as well.
Yes. Is the PlayStation January sale still on?
Probably not.
Might be on sale. Might still be
I'm
on
gonna
sale
finish
for a
Alan
couple
Wake
of days.
first before I choose my next game.
Okay, so
Nice.
that's our first number one was Dragon's Dogma 2. Okay, Mr. I can't see the names because I'm in stream mode, but it's Master Blackthorn, isn't it? I think.
Yes.
He has number
He's got some
5.
shout outs at the bottom.
Yes, I'll get to those. I'll get to
Right.
those afterwards, I think. Because
Alright.
he did them afterwards. So, you know.
Okay. I'm not telling you how to do your job.
Number
You on
5.
that.
Shut up. Diablo 4. It's not called Shut Up Diablo 4, it's called Diablo 4. Or Diablo 4, however you want to say it. Number 4. Broken Sword Reforged. I don't know if that's the very first Broken Sword game remade. Another remake. It's the year of the remakes, 2024.
I do not know.
I know there was quite a few Broken Swords. I think at least 5. So I'm not sure which one that is. I think it probably is the original. A point-and-click adventure game from back in the old days, remade. Number 3, Stalker 2. No comments for that, no?
Wasn't that supposed to be Toilet?
I don't know. Depends. People like it. Some people like it, obviously.
I think I was listening to the Veteran Gamers where they said,
Well, what do they know about anything?
yeah, I know, but I think it was Chinny who was saying, you know, at the end of the day, it may not be good, but it's still a game, right? You know, and some people will like it. So
Yeah, it's too hard for them.
I don't know.
It's too hard, I think.
I don't know. Probably too hardcore for They need story stuff.
Yeah.
Walking simulators.
No reading though. Number 2 for Mark is Path of Exile 2, which is still in early access, and it will be a free-to-play game at some point soon-ish. But it is out there.
Haven't some of our lot been playing that?
Mr. Sean has been playing that a lot.
Shawnee boy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I haven't spoke to him in a while, but yeah, I see he keeps saying he's playing it. He really liked the first one. I remember that. But yeah, it's a Diablo-like, I guess. With an extraordinarily large, what do you call those things when you upgrade trees?
Skill trees.
Yeah, that's the one. And finally, number 1 is Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree. I'll allow it. Some people wouldn't. But it is.
That is a controversial one.
It's not really. It's bigger than most games. So it's technically a DLC, but yeah, it's still bigger than most games. But come on. So
it should have been Elden Ring 2 then. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Or Elden Ring Remaster.
No. Don't need to remaster the masterpiece. Anyway, he did add, as Fraser had alluded to, he added some shout outs to some other bits and bobs. And he did say, what he said was, probably the weirdest list of games he's ever had at the end of a year, but I bloody enjoyed all of them. I'm mixing persons here. Shout out to Balatro. I forgot about this. It is fantastic. Lies of P. I will finish it. And Alan Wake 2, which actually finished this year. He says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year as well, chaps, because this came in quite early.
Yeah, thanks, Master Blackthorn. Yeah, that Broken Sword is a remake of the 1996 game.
Is that the very first one?
I'm not sure.
Sounds like it probably is. Shadow of the Templars. Oh. Pilch is here. He said Balatro number 1, but he definitely put in a proper list later.
Yeah, discard that.
Yeah, you can't have Balatro in there as number 1 again from Pilch. Make sure you haven't erroneously put that in, Dave.
No, I haven't put that in there.
Wise Old Elf. Is that Mr. Kinsit?
Kinsit.
Is it? I think it might be. That's his football team name, isn't it? So, yeah. Okay, here's number 5. Obviously, it did come out this year. Red Dead Redemption 2. Probably took 5 years to finish that game. That was just opening the drawers.
PC, so,
No, Red Dead Redemption's new on PC. Red Dead Redemption 2 has come out before Red Dead Redemption on PC.
Oh, do we? Oh, okay. I just looked at it and assumed he meant to. Okay.
He did mean to, because that's what he wrote. The first one only came out in the last couple of months.
You all right, Dave? You had a bit too much sun.
What? My Excel spreadsheet was over the 2, so I've
just to expand that cell a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4 was, first mentioned this one, God of War Ragnarok.
Ooh.
Mr. Defoe's
Nobody's
playing that, isn't he? He's playing that. He bought that recently. Not heard him saying much about it, to be honest. There was someone else talked about that on the Veteran Gamers, didn't they? Stu didn't like it as much as the first one. So I've not heard. I've heard that it's not as good as the first one. It's too big.
Probably too much gameplay in it.
Too much stuff in there. Yeah. Too hard as well when you play the hard bits. Number 3 for Mr. Kinsey was Last of Us Remastered. I played that this year. Didn't I?
Oh, yeah?
No, I haven't. No. I played Last of Us 2.
What, this year?
Yeah.
What, in the last 10 days?
Shut up. No. Oh, fuck off. Such a knob. This game of the year.
Fucking shit show coming, people. You can feel it's brewing now.
Good job Dave's done that spreadsheet. Number 2. Final Fantasy Rebirth. That's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, isn't it? That's the next part of Final Fantasy VII.
Man, I tell you, every fiber in my body screaming at me, play these, you'll love them. But I tried that remake and I just didn't get on with it. But I'm not done. I feel like I need to go back. You know what I need? I need someone to teach me how to play this. Because the combat is what threw me.
Because it's an action game now.
It all seems to be more real time and
yeah, it's an actual like action game, not a turn-based. Takes ages to fight a battle game anymore.
I need to go back. I need to go back to remake.
Well, you have to buy it, won't you? Unless you sub up for PS Plus.
Yeah, that's a sticking point.
It is on PC now, though, isn't it? Both of them are on PC, I think now.
I want to play it on the sofa.
Number 1 for Mr. Kinsey is Alan Wake 2. It couldn't happen 2 years in a row, could it?
Oh, mate, can it? Wow, maybe. Who else had it?
No one.
Oh, no one. Oh.
Yeah, no, it was just a shout out for Alan Wake 2, previous one.
Oh.
Right, Mr. Pilch is back.
Okay.
Here's number 5, Diablo 4.
No.
It's been 5 twice. Number 4, Dead Island 2. Not sure anyone else is going to have that in their top 5s.
That was a re-release, wasn't it?
No, Dead Island 2. It's just been out a while. There was a new, isn't it? Or Dead Island 2 come out this year? That's Dead Island. There was a few Dead Island games, but there wasn't a 2 until recently. I think I might be right.
Sure.
I don't know.
I think it came out on Game Pass.
Yeah, recently. Probably. That's where he plays all his games, even if it's only for 5 minutes. Switching it up a bit here. Switching platforms. Number 3, Switch Sports. Which I'm assuming he wasn't playing on his own. Because that would be a bit shit, I imagine. And also, number 2 would probably be shit if you're playing that on your own. Mario Party Jamboree, which was the latest Mario Party game.
Mario Party Jamboree at number 2.
It's actually supposed to be good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have heard a lot of people say it's good.
All right, I'll bite my tongue.
Yeah, but is it number 2 on your game of the year? But we probably only played it for 20 minutes because number 1, surprise, surprise,
to get it.
is Black Ops 6, which he's probably played for about 1 billion hours last year. Well, in the last 3 months anyway. So that was Mr. Reed. And then finally, nice. Mr. Lee Griggs got in touch. I'm assuming these are going from left to right. 1. Left is 1 and right is 5, I'm guessing here. We haven't had confirmation, but I'm assuming that's the order. Is that what you would agree?
I would think so, yeah.
So, number 5, you'll have to get in touch with me if this is wrong, but Doom 1 and 2 re-released on Game Pass and stuff, didn't they? It came out on Steam and everything. It was a pack of 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah? What, the old ones, originals?
The OGs, yeah.
And he's enjoyed them that much.
Yeah. Number 4, Still Wakes the Deep, which was the sweary Scottish rig people.
Yeah, you played that, didn't you?
I did. It was very sweary and very Scottish. And it was good. It was good. Number 3, Silent Hill 2. That's been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
And number 2, this is the first mention we've had of Astrobot. Is that the first mention
Yes.
we've had?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Well, that won Game of the Year at the only video game award show that matters, obviously. And then number 1 didn't come out this year, but Lee's favourite game of the year that he's played this year, Alien Isolation.
Mm. All right.
Likes a creepy game that goes on too long, apparently.
Fair enough.
Yes. So thank you all.
So we actually haven't had a duplicate.
What you mean, as in a number 1 duplicated?
No game's been duplicated.
Shut up.
Silent Hill
We've had
2
Diablo
has.
4 and Silent Hill 2. This is not a good sign, Dave. Come on.
Oh,
This your
jeez.
spreadsheet's supposed to stop all this.
Brilliant. So look, why is my
See the
duplicate-
shit I got for making my mistake last year? This is why.
I put in conditional format in to show me duplicates, and it's not showing me any duplicates.
You failed.
You-
Failed.
All right, I'll have to use.
You had one job, Dave.
Google spreadsheets, honestly.
Yeah, don't bad workmen
Yeah.
always
If
blames
it's a-
their tools, don't it?
If it was Excel, I'd be right on it, but I'm too cheap. To
Can
buy
you
it.
not fucking buy Excel?
Well, I could.
Have you
But
not
you
got
get it with your whatever.
a
Let's not get
Microsoft
into that.
365 blah blah blah?
Come on,
Anyway.
don't beat him up. He's going to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sure it'll be absolutely so fine by the end of the show.
How
So
to
that's-
how to find duplicates.
Dave buying a humble bundles of like Excel, Google Docs for Dummies while we're
Just
on the
ask
podcast.
how to find duplicates. Just ask Fraser and Neil. They spotted them straight
Yeah,
away.
yeah. Right, so that's
We're
all
not
of
even looking
our
at the spreadsheet.
that's all of our contributions. Is it? There was nothing on Blue
Yeah.
Sky. I haven't checked Twitter actually, so I should probably do that quickly just in case. Sully myself
thank
in
you.
the dirt.
Thank
murky
you
waters.
very much for sending in your lists. It is much
Yes.
appreciated.
Top work, everybody.
All right. Okay. We'll
So-
do our top. We'll go five onwards, of course.
We're
We'll
going
take turns.
5, take 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3,
Yeah.
3.
Can we just start? Does anybody have any honorary mentions?
I've got a few.
Okay, let's go through honorary mentions.
Honorary.
Yeah, Dave, Neil, you got.
I
you got?
got. You know what? I've actually not decided on my 5. So definitely not in my top 5, but he's on my honourable mentions. Is Call of Duty Black Ops 6
Oh yeah.
because there's a bit of a return to form, I'd say, campaign-wise for sure. Everyone I've
Yeah.
played recently, campaign-wise, has bored the shit out of me, and this is the first one I've actually gone through and finished. I can't remember finishing one since Advanced Warfare, which is
Right.
quite a long time ago, and that was a
Yeah,
bit
no,
shit.
I've heard. A lot of people have said it, right? It surprised a lot of people. It's good.
So yeah, shout out
Probably on
to that
Dave's list.
small
He's been
company,
quiet there.
Activision.
No, I like blocks. Yeah, I got really into multiplayer. So yes, all the money that I spent on it has paid off.
Yes, well, that's it. That's it.
Anything
Um,
else on your honorary mentions?
Well, Hunt Showdown. I'm not putting it in my top 5.
Okay.
Shame.
I'm not doing it. It's been out. We played fucking tons of it, but it is the game that we keep playing, so it needs a shout
game
out. But
that
I'm
keeps
not
on
putting it in the
ticking.
top 5. I could,
worry.
and Gran Turismo 7 as well, because that's the game I keep playing on my PlayStation. But I'm not putting that in my top 5.
Don't worry, Defo. And I've got Hunt Showdown on my list. You know it.
You fucking
I've
because
got
you only
no
played about
idea.
4 games this year.
I did play 5.
And you can't put Blatro on your iPad.
Yeah, you
like
can't
on
have
the
multiple
computer.
versions of the same fucking
Why
game.
not have Balatro and Balatro Plus? Hunt Showdown and Hunt Showdown 1896.
Yeah, I guess
That's 4
that's 4
spots
games.
filled.
I guess that's decided my number 5 anyway. So there we go. So that's mine.
Dave, do you have any honorary mentions?
I've got an honorary mention of Wreckfest, which does take a lot of my time. I love a couple of races before I go to bed.
You really do.
Yeah.
What's your favorite car in that these days? Is it the hot dog van or something? Or what's-
No, there's a few, but
You can put a hot dog on top of any car, can't you?
you can put a hot dog on any car. I don't know. I used to rock like a really heavy car to try not to be killed. Now I don't care. I just drive a quite small sports car in it, and if I die, I just watch fucking YouTube channels or whatever. So no. Yeah, no, Wreckfest. honorary mention, and one
Now,
more.
sorry, before you move
Go on.
on from there, because I'm just interested
Go on.
that you're still playing. I mean, we played a little bit of Wreckfest back in the day. It never
Mm.
hooked me, but you love it. What's the support like on it now? Are they still like updating it constantly, or is it
Not
sort
really.
of?
They put crossplay in this year, because it's out on Xbox consoles, and I think also Epic Games has a version of it as well. But they've added crossplay in, so that's basically reinvigorated the multiplayer scene, because I think a few platforms were being segregated and not getting so many servers up and running. But yeah, you can jump on and there'll be like 10 to 20 multiplayer servers filled out with 24 cars. If you start going random times in the morning or whatever, it's not so hot. But yeah, it's still it seems quite a lot of people playing. You're never going to be find a server. Well, you will always find a server with some people in it playing. And the ones that are not filled out with people have the AI playing. They put a few AI cars in there as well to sort of pad it out a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it monetized at all?
There's various DLCs, but not in game. You can buy it's just like different cars or skins and stuff like that. So I think there is a lot more Steam Workshop mods. I haven't sort of been playing the mods themselves because I just like the base game and just rocking around the default tracks and stuff. So yeah, love
Nice.
Got another
the other game
honourable
that I was going
mention as well. Just
that?
remind me. I said I thought of another honourable mention as well. It's not
Okay.
Wreckfest.
The other one I was going to do an honourable mention was for Stationeers. I've played a lot of Stationeers with Arnie as well this year on a server I set up. I know it's not a game that came out this year, but that is constantly being updated. It's one of those games that I really would like to play more and get more into it, but I just don't have the time. It's very complex. The coding in it is brilliant. And yeah, it's fun to play with people who are fun. And Arnie did a lot of the legwork on the base that we built in Stationeers. But yeah, sort of loved going into it and going, so what have you done? And he spent a good half an hour
Spent like an hour just showing you all the shit he'd done.
Yeah,
while you weren't
and
playing.
it was like, yeah, you look at this scripting. I was like, looked at it, I was like, yeah, I got no idea what to do. But no, that was good fun. So yeah, hopefully I'd love to get a bit more Stationeers in this year. Now, in 2025.
Arnie says it's an awesome freaking game in the chat.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So, but not in my top 5, but an honorary mention.
Also missed that he said when he was younger he got a battery recharger from his dad. I assume that's when we're talking about Christmas and birthday presents.
Yeah. What about you, Fraser? You got any honorable mentions?
Neil had one before.
Yeah, I was to quickly mention before I forget, mouthwashing is something very different and really fucked up and weird.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Probably should be played by more people than are actually going to play it, but
It's one of those where I have no idea what to ask you about it.
Well, I won't tell you anything about it really because it's just fucked up and weird, and you should play it if you're gonna.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, I have a couple of mentions. My first one is Zachtronics Solitaire. I just ended up deep diving into that and playing a ton of it. Actually, I haven't played it for quite a while, but there was one of the modes that I played a lot of. But bizarrely, I ended up putting it on my wife's iPad. She has clocked over 1,000 wins on one of the solitaires right now. Every night she is playing that. It is bonkers. She is.
Do you know which one it is that she plays?
Fiend. She plays the first one.
So that's just like standard solitaire.
Yeah, standard solitaire. That's all she's interested in. And I was just talking to her about it the other night. She's just like, "Yep."
What do you call it? It's not free cell or anything. It's proper old school, like
proper solitaire.
Deal free, flip it over, sort of thing.
Yeah. And she just loves it. Just switches off and plays her games or whatever, and she's just banging out the victories. Very nice.
My wife's doing a lot of Sudoku on the iPad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's going to run out in March though, so, or maybe February.
And then I had a second one, which was Rogue Legacy 2, which I had started playing. And I was really surprised with Rogue Legacy 2 how much I got into it, because it was the first time one of those games the penny really dropped, where not so much the penny dropped, where I always understood what the game was trying to do, but just feeling, making progression. I guess that's what it is with a lot of these roguelikes, is making progression. And yeah, it got cut short, unfortunately. I think we had it on PlayStation
You're on PS
Plus.
Plusing it,
yeah, and I've got to buy it, and I just haven't got around to it. I think I've seen it on some other platforms, but I can't buy it on another platform, because otherwise I'll lose all the progress I made on PlayStation. So
it's not
so
going to be expensive on PlayStation.
No, I'm just being a tightwad. I got to pick it up at some point.
Thing is, with PlayStation, you don't get to refund games and keep store credit, do you? And then just keep doing it.
No, you don't. You can try, but it doesn't work. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so we can move on and then go through our fives.
Yeah, I think.
Who would like to start?
I can start.
You
I'm
start
intrigued.
then, Dave.
I'll start. So, my number 5 is Factorio. I was going to specifically say Factorio, the space DLC, but I'm just going to say Factorio. Yeah, factory game, isometric view, looking down, tons of hours fun.
How old is this game now?
How old is the game? I've got no idea. But I will look.
It's got to be 5, 6, 7 years old at least, right?
I'm not sure when it came out in 1.0. But it's on 2.0 now, so no idea. Don't know. Don't know where to look. But no.
2020.
2020.
Yeah, 4 years
Really?
old.
Yeah.
4.5 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So where are you with Factorio? Is it like you can continue playing it? I mean, could it appear on a list? Was it on your list last year? Could it appear on your list next year?
It probably will appear on my list next year. Basically, I've replayed the start to get to space, and I've started the space part now, and I haven't got into haven't fully got into it because other games have been taking my time away from me.
Keep Wreckfest out of the way, mate. Stop playing Wreckfest.
Well, yeah, yeah. I haven't picked up Wreckfest for a little while because I'm playing a different game at the moment. But yeah, it will always have a place in my heart. And if I play it, if I put a number of hours into it, it will appear on my game of the year for that year, because yeah, it really does grab me in a way that not a lot of other games do. So yeah, it's my number 5.
Here, quick. I don't know whether you can condense this into a quick answer, but what makes it so great compared to the other sort of factory games and stuff like that?
It's pure. So actually, it's not pure. It is continually changing, in that when you in this game, even though it's a factory game, the resources that you use and mine to build your factory and progress run out, so that your base has to constantly evolve and change, and you have to expand your factory and bring in new materials from different locations. And that's half of the game, is that finding the resources and the challenges of getting them into your base. So not only is it just the actual building and the what you are building, but how will you get all the resources into it. And then I've been playing with the critters on, which I haven't done before, so it's the first time I've done it this year, or the time I played it at all, is that having the enemies on, and it has made it into a new game. It's not only been about just sort of the factory and getting the resources, but also defending it against the computer and the enemies that spawn. So that is why it's sort of like I got so into it, and I got to a point where I've got past that bit, because I sort of finished that that part of the game for me, because I just basically surrounded my whole base with all the machine guns that you can. But yeah, I don't know. It's just constantly changing, and there's always a different thing that you've got to strive for and work towards. So that's why it is unique in that way. There are other games. There's a game called Shapes on Shapes 2, which is pure factory, and I played it for a little while, and it just didn't grab me, because there is one milestone of you've got to create this in a certain elements in a certain way, and without the being pulled from left to right, so you can't fulfill your orders because you've run out of materials, or there's like enemies, or yeah, it's the Factorio. You have one goal, but there's so many things to derail you to reach that. There's just always something to do. It's not just one direction that you're focusing on. You might try and focus on, okay, I'll progress, like upgrading all of my factory, and get like having more resources, more end points to build a spaceship or whatever. But then you've got to contend with, I'm running out of iron, I'm running out of coal, I'm running out of copper, I'm being attacked from here. I've expanded my base in one way, but like I'm encroaching on the enemies, so I've got to defend it. There's a constant pull of, I want to do this, but I've got to do this to get
and
to
that's
that point.
And then it's 5 a.m. and the sun's coming up, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
We know. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. All right, cool. Neil, what do you got for number 5?
I'm thinking about changing it right now.
Oh my god.
But
it doesn't
I'm
matter.
sticking with it. Animal Well is my
Attaboy.
number 5.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Animal Well, which was the Metroidvania that was about halfway through the year. It came out last year. Real
pretty much.
old retro looking thing, but not really retro in terms of how it plays and all the tools you get given and stuff. And I played it fucking loads because it was really good and nice challenge. Didn't get silly hard. Had a good map. Still spent quite a lot of time trekking around places that I probably didn't need to.
Yeah, I felt like that when I was playing it.
But trying to work out exactly what you needed to do next. But that was half the fun. It was like, what am I actually supposed to be doing now? If you have a couple of days off from these games, that's why I have a problem with going back going, what was I doing again? But yeah, really good Metroidvania. It looks nothing special in terms of visually, I guess, until you
really like the
finer details. Yeah. It's like it's an old looking game, but it's not old. So
what did you play this on?
Played on PS5.
Okay.
It was on PS Plus, I believe, or PS Plus Extra or whatever. But yeah, really good. Loads of just novel, different upgrades that you don't normally see in a Metroidvania. You get, I don't think there's actually a double jump. There was just some cool shit. But one of the things you get is a frisbee, and there's multiple things the frisbee does. It's the first thing you get, I think, maybe, or maybe the second. But you're a tiny little blob. Basically, is your character basically a circle with some somewhat expressive pixel eyes that look up and down and stuff like that, but not do a lot really. It's really very simple. But there's things like when you lob the frisbee, it travels horizontally until it hits something, and depending on what it hits, it might bounce back to you, or it might drop to the floor. But also, what you can do is you can throw the frisbee horizontally, and you can jump on top of it, and then it will take you left and right, horizontally across as a platform, like traversal method. Also, there's things in the game which don't like you. The enemies, some people might call them. One of those things is a dog that's quite a lot bigger than you, and if you lob the frisbee where there's a dog, the dog gets distracted by the frisbee and runs after the frisbee, and you can get to parts of the map that you could, like parts of the screen that you couldn't get to and shit. So it was really different. Like it's an old idea with an old game style with loads of new mechanics and ideas and stuff like that, which is what I really loved about it. It was just like, oh, that's a bit different and not the sort of shit you normally do in these games, but all of the sort of shit that you don't normally do in those games where you can't get to somewhere until you get one of these things, these tools, then you can get to places that you couldn't get to before and stuff like that. And that's the Metroidvania. But they were all like really different, which is why I really, and like it was pretty fucking weird as well, which is always a bonus.
I haven't given up on it. I've got it still installed, so I need that on a good handheld or something.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe you need to buy a Steam Deck.
Maybe.
You've got it on Steam, have you?
Yeah, I have.
Or you could you could spend even more and get a Windows handheld, I guess, or you could just buy a Steam Deck because they're cheaper.
Perhaps. Right, my number 5 is Returnal on the PlayStation 5. Again, this was, my son picked up the PlayStation 5. We had PlayStation Plus for a few months, and I loved Returnal. I knew Returnal was something that I needed to play. I'd heard good things about it. Damn, that game is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. That is not an easy game, but it's fair. It's tight, very tight in the combat. It just feels good the way you fight, but it's not easy.
Doesn't feel good when you keep dying, I found.
No, but what I found with the game was that I felt like I probably put in a good 5 hours, maybe 5 or 6 hours, maybe even more, getting up to 10 something hours. And I was dying a lot, and it was hard. I mean, I felt like I kept making progress, but then I completely changed. I remember this because it was I was quite a way in, and I just changed my attitude to the game and how I was playing. And I think I ended up playing a much more defensive game. And I started to make even more progress. I did not finish it. I don't even think I beat the first major boss before it disappeared off PS Plus. So it seems odd that
you say it disappeared off PS Plus. You stopped having PS Plus.
PS Plus disappeared off our page.
Yeah.
But I do want to go back to it at some point. I'm pretty sure
that's out on PC now, is it? Is that out on PC?
I think so. Yeah. But it was great. It looked brilliant. It's lovely looking. Yeah, it's a really nice game. That one. Really nice. I know it's a year. I'm about 2 or 3 years late. Get to the party on
I think
that
came out. Did that not come out when the PS5 came out? I feel like
around about 2020 or something. I think. Maybe. Yeah, it was good. It's good. So yeah, that's my number 5.
Rock hard.
It is fucking hard. But there you go. Like a bit of cock and ball torture, right?
Yeah, well, some of us
do. You know
what
I'm saying? Some of us do. All right, that's my number 5. Number 4, Dave.
Very good. Number 4 for me is, let's get to my list, Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
We have a contender now. Contenders are coming.
Yeah, I've put in a good amount of time with it. I loved Dragon Dogma 1, the original. Dragon Dogma 2 built on that. I said earlier, I haven't completed it, but what a great game. Great RPG, brilliant use of the party and navigating around and using them. The story is pretty good, pretty engaging, and yeah, just sort of pushed you along in such a way that you actually wanted to progress, and also encouraging you to chop and change how you play as you play it. So upgrading your character's build, and even changing the whole gameplay about how you can just swap and change from being a warrior to a wizard, pretty much on the fly. Well, not on the fly, but going into town and basically swapping out your equipment, and change it vocation. That's what it's called, changing your vocation. Brilliant. Yeah. Again, it's on my list of still installed. Want to complete. but games have been taking
Playing
focus off
Wreckfest,
me.
Dave.
Playing Wreckfest. But yeah, just yeah, brilliant game. Highly encourage.
I need to get
everyone
back
to,
onto that. I really
yeah.
you played it?
I barely started it. I did play it. I was like, I need to get in and just get on. But I've got fucking.
Where did you play it?
On PC. I got it free with my CPU or something when I bought my upgrade. I think it came.
Right.
On my motherboard, something like that. It came with a code, and I was like, "Oh, that looks a cool game." And I played it for about an hour, and I was like, "Oh, this is good," but I don't know what I was playing at the time. Definitely was playing something else at the time. I ain't gone back to it. There's games I've bought that I haven't even started. So
yeah, the boss battles and sort of the larger enemies where you can jump on them, hold on to them. Some of them fucking fly away while you're holding on to them, and basically you get transported to a completely
is it much
different
like
part
The
of
Witcher
that.
3? You played The Witcher 3?
I didn't play much of The Witcher 3.
I haven't played much either. That's another game I bought and I haven't fucking really played. I've only had it about 10 years.
But no, really good.
Okay. Dragon's Dogma 2, nice.
Dogma 2.
All right. Neil.
Is it me?
Number 4. Yeah. Changing this one.
Oh. Okay. What was your number 4? Oh, yeah, Returnal. Okay. Right, my number 4 is Rise of the Golden Idol.
Ooh,
okay.
yeah. I hovered over putting this on my list, but I haven't really.
You've still got a bit too much to finish.
Yeah.
Well, I love the first. I've loved all of these games since they've started.
Yeah, you
coming
have.
out. If there's one out in a year, it's probably going to be in my top 5, unless they really fucking fuck it. It's really, really cool puzzle game. Different, like you're not walking around or doing anything like that. You got to absorb all the information that's presented to you, and then regurgitate all of the words that you are gifted into some form of sense, which hopefully, eventually, you get what it's asking of you, and you move on to the next scenario. And then in the meantime, well, all these puzzles are solving, playing out this batshit story about a device that can change matter and time and stuff. So,
A MacGuffin.
a MacGuffin, the idol, the golden idol.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's on Netflix if you've got Netflix.
That's what I'm playing it on my iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the original games are on there as well, I believe. And I don't know whether the DLCs or for the original games are included with the Netflix thing. But the first game obviously had 2 DLCs came out for it. I played all of those. And this game has 4 DLC packs coming out.
Oh, yeah?
Apparently.
Okay.
So, and they'll probably start coming out relatively soon, because that's what happens.
Are they going to be with the Netflix, or you get?
That's what I mean. I don't know. No. It's definitely. I bought it on Steam because I was just like, fucking buying this. Because as soon as I saw it, I was like, played the demo. I was like, yep, I see what they've done to change things up. Obviously, the scenario is completely different. The old games were set back in like colonial times, in the old disunited states of America, I guess, at the time. And then the current game is like 1970s, so completely different time, which means you can do some different stuff with TV and shit, which obviously wasn't available in the old days.
The thing I like about it, besides what it is as a game and the way it plays, I don't know what it is. You look at the art style and it looks janky as anything, but I really have warmed to the art style. I don't know why. I really like it. The whole aesthetic of it all.
Because like the new game has definitely like they've upped the stakes a bit graphically. It looks a bit more nice. Right. But I don't know if they niceified the old games. There was an update. I think they graphically enhanced the old game.
Oh, yeah.
Before this one came out. But I haven't been back to it, the old ones. But I'm sure they did something graphically. But I don't know if it lost on it because it was pretty grotesque. Like the characters are ugly as fuck, usually.
Yeah.
Like massively, caricatures, basically, sort of people. like huge noses, like ridiculous. No one's having a nose like people have got in these games and stuff like that. So,
well, I always feel like they've got someone to do the artwork who can draw, but maybe isn't like the best artist out there. Do you know what I mean? Like I can draw a hamburger, but it's not going to be the best hamburger you've ever seen drawn, right?
I don't know, it's a deliberate art style for sure. It's deliberately hideous. Some of it.
Yeah. There's something about it. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's charming.
It is.
It's a bit different.
Right. Yeah, Rise of the Golden Idol.
Yes.
Neil's number 4. Okay. I've got number 4. My number 4 is Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's another duplicate. Right.
Get in there, Dave. No duplicates.
I don't remember you playing this now.
Yeah, I picked this up. Where did I pick this up? What was I playing it on?
That wasn't PS Plus.
No.
Did you get this from the library?
That was it. I got it from the library and was playing it on the PlayStation. I'm pretty sure I had played a demo of it and
there was the chainsaw demo.
Yeah, I think I played the demo and I didn't really like it. And then I saw it at the library and I was like, well, I better get it because I'm a Resident Evil fanboy and play it properly, give it a proper shake of the stick. And then once I was in. That was it. It was brilliant. And they did the bottom line is they did an amazing job of making that game better. And full props to Capcom, right? Because they did that with the other ones, the other remakes they've done. The improvements.
Dragon's Dogma 2 Capcom as well.
Sorry?
Dragon's Dogma 2's Capcom. They've been doing some good shit in the last few years.
You can't fault them for that, sure. Yeah, and it just felt like Resident Evil 4, it's just things they filled in gaps that needed to be filled in with excellent areas. And it just felt like they generally just completely improved all the pacing. Looks fantastic. It's such an amazing remake. It really is. I was just blown away. I loved it. I went from to holy shit. This is just brilliant.
The bit that's in the chainsaw demo, that's in the game, isn't it? You have to wait. Basically, it goes fucking bonkers, and there's a guy running around after you with a chainsaw, and then the bell rings, and they all fuck off. Is that right? Something like that?
They all the dinner bell rings, and they all have to go. Yeah. Which is a legendary opening for that game, and anybody who's played it, sort of knows that you play that about 2 or 3 times, you die. You just like, what is going on? How do I get past this? And it is just a question of surviving. Generally in that first stage, but yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, I just loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think that might be on sale still. I've looked at that many times, as I have all of the Resident Evil 7 and 8 when they've been on sale, and gone, should I just buy that? Should I get that on PC? Should I get it on my PlayStation? And never buy them. But
yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, Resident Evil 4 remake.
Good.
Even now, I'm just thinking about it. Sorry, even just things like when you go to the castle, they just improved that bit so much. It's just they did such an amazing job. Yeah, really good, really good. Resident Evil 4 remake. Okay.
What was the game you were talking about? Buying?
Which one?
Was it Final Fantasy? Basically, what I was going to say is the January sale is still on the PlayStation for now.
So what I should do is go load up on games that I just won't play.
No. If there's games that you are going to play, you should look at buying them, I guess.
I'm not doing it. I'm going to finish the games I've got on the go before I buy any more games. I've got to finish Alan Wake.
Dragon's Dogma 2.
Do it.
Resident Evil 4 Remake is half price on PlayStation on
bargain.
£17.49.
Oh, you can't afford not to buy it.
I have the money in my account. I can't afford 2.
I'm glad you got 17 quid in your account.
On my PlayStation account.
Oh. Right. Okay. Number 3, Dave.
So my number 3 is a game I've been talking about I've been talking about it all year. Dungeon Crawler.
Yeah.
I wondered where this was going to appear on your list.
Yeah,
I was wondering if this might end up being number 1 because you've been playing it so much.
I've been playing it a lot. It's still in early access, so I did sort of wonder whether to put it on my list at all, but I put so much time into it, and basically I've 100%ed it. All but one or two what's it called, achievements that I'm still working towards, which is deal over 5,000 damage in one hit and get more than a certain amount of strength on your character. But yeah, it's brilliant. Love it. It's kind of like you lots of different characters that you can choose from. But you start with one that has just 2 claws.
Lay out the premise of what this game is about.
The premise is,
for those who might not have heard you talk about it before.
The premise is there's it's a 2D game, and there's lots of items which include shields and
I don't think you've even
weapons.
told people exactly what the premise is behind this. That's what I mean.
Okay, so it's I don't know how the words.
Okay, let me do this for you then. Right? Do you ever go to the arcades and you have those claw machines, right, where the claw comes down and grabs things?
Or it doesn't.
This is what you're. This is, as far as I'm aware, and I didn't play as much as you played, Dave. But basically, there's a massive tank, a ton of stuff gets dumped into it, and there's liquid as well.
Yeah.
And then you have to control the claw to pick up what you can, and those items become the items when they get dumped into the collection bin, become the items that you use to battle.
It's on a 2D plane, so you don't have to deal with the 3D aspect of it. But the claw, much like a real claw machine, is notoriously shit at picking stuff up. Or you think you're picking one thing up and it fucking skips off, and you either miss completely or you pick up something you didn't want. So there is a skill aspect in that. Sometimes
but it's still is it a skill aspect, but the game can still fuck you over.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And then so if you pick up weapon, you basically you pit it against enemies which have a certain amount of health and also hit you for a certain amount of damage. And if you get shields, you block that damage, and if you get the weapons that deal a certain amount of damage, you can kill them, or you can go down and apply poison, and you can pick up various things that basically you only get hit for 1 HP rather than the 4. There's lots of different. They're making it as complicated as possible. Using it's not a new concept in that it's like an RPG. So not an RPG. Roguelike or roguelite. That you progress, you can unlock different characters, you can get harder modes, but you can stack various different things. You can get different claws. You can have like a harpoon or a magnet.
A bit like a Slay the Spire kind of thing, but instead of getting dealt a hand of cards, you get shit out of a machine.
Yeah. Or you can fail to pick up anything because you've accidentally just missed what he was aiming for. So it's just good. It's just addictive.
I have a question for you.
Very addictive. Go on.
Do you sort of set out at the start of a game and say, I'm going to build, this is the build I'm going for?
So each character's have strengths and weaknesses, and you try and optimize towards. Some of the characters cannot use any defense whatsoever, but they've got a really good attack. So, but you can still pick up shields, but they do nothing for you. So you're trying to work around the shields, and endly like remove them from the pit that you can be chosen, and you try and stack on really good weapons. There's all the different characters. One of the characters starts with a magnet, which is great, but the shields are wooden, so they don't pick up. So you do have you have a claw as well. So you've got to optimize. Okay, right. If I'm going to attack and not kill this person, then you've got to get like some really good shields and stuff. So yes, there's lots of like my character, the character that you choose, and I think there's like 6 or 7 different characters that you can choose, is good in a certain aspect. So you're encouraged to sort of build either attack or defense, or gold. Gold is another thing that you can pick up, and if you pick up certain aspects, is that it gives you additional health or makes certain weapons really strong to hit. So yeah, there's a lot of you start progressing in a one way, and sometimes your character completely like collapses because either you've done a really bad pickup twice in a row and you've been up against really bad enemies, or you just haven't been able to scale your either your health, your shields, or your damage against the enemies that you get that would get progressively harder.
Yeah.
So yeah, brilliant.
Playing on the Steam
Love it.
Deck?
Playing it on the Steam Deck. It's great
Yeah.
on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's definitely going away with me this year on holiday. It's
Yeah.
probably going to be the game that I'll be mainly playing as well on the
Yeah.
Steam Deck. It's really good for that.
Cool.
No Rockfest on holiday now.
It's you can play it on a Steam Deck. It's just the screen's not big
Wi-Fi hotel, not great.
enough.
All right.
I'm just going to take a very quick break.
Oh, are you now?
Okay? Yeah.
All right. Let's take 2 minutes then while Dave goes for a pee.
Okay.
I could probably squeeze in a pee too.
Back a sec.
All right, that you may proceed.
All right. We're back, everyone. Okay. Thank you, Neil. All right. Dave is evacuated and we're all good now.
Wow.
Yes.
My dog is. I forgot about my dog. I opened up the door. He's standing out there, dying of hunger, of course. So good. That was a good break. Right, back. We're at number 3. I think Neil, you're number 3, right? Are we on to?
You've done Dave's. You
Yep.
Dave, you did yours. Number
Dave's
3.
done
My
Dave's,
number
Dave's, yeah.
3 is Balatro.
Oh.
Should we leave this one for now? To talk about it maybe a bit later, I'm guessing.
Sure, if you don't mind. I mean, I know what I'm going to say, and
Well, we'll just talk about it when you get
just
to
in
it,
case
shall we?
it comes back. Okay, all right. Very well. We can, yeah. Okay, all right. So okay, well then we'll move on to my number 3, which is Resident Evil again, but this time it's Resident Evil Village.
Nice.
So this was a good year of Resident Evil. I never got on very well with 6 and 7. I mean, 6 was okay. 7 disappointed me. 7 seemed to me to take the series in a direction that I didn't really like. I felt it just wasn't as fun as I thought it could be.
I was too shit at 7, is what I found. I just couldn't do it. I just kept fucking dying. And I was like, I can't be fucking arsed anymore.
Yeah. I have a feeling I did most of 7 through a walkthrough as well by my side, just to get through it.
I was just getting chased around the house by that motherfucker, and I just kept dying. I was just like, oh.
So this isn't a numbered game, is it? It's just literally.
Well, it is. It's Resident Evil 8 Village.
Yeah, the 8
VIII.
Yeah, but Resident Evil Village surprised me. I mean, I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. A lot of people had spoken highly of it, so that was great. And I was desperate to see this antagonist, the lady, whatever her name is. I can't remember.
Can't remember what name. Well, how can you not remember? Dimitrescu.
Oh yeah, that's right. Something like that. Yeah. And it was just fun. Once I really started to get into it, it was proper Resident Evil. It was great. You know, it was everything that I had expected. It was everything that I had wanted. And I played it. I played the shit out of it. I played a lot. I enjoyed it. I think I went back for a second playthrough just to really ramp up on. Can you hear that? Somebody deciding to use the printer in my office.
I could hear something. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Look at this. Here we go, everyone. Look at this.
Live printing. Not 3D.
Unbelievable.
2D printing. It's still going? You got to pull the tray out so it doesn't fall on the floor.
I don't know. Why are there so many pages coming out? What's going on? Yeah, so Resident Evil Village. Sorry, I got totally distracted there. I'll be having words with someone in a minute about that.
Does it say something like, is there a message to you on the printer?
Shall we find out? Hang on a second.
This is where I find out he's actually printed the results of the spreadsheet. It was Fraser printed the results of the Game of the Year spreadsheet.
It's my wife's inventory for her inventory count that she's doing. What on earth is that coming here now for? Oh, she's home. That's why. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. So Resident Evil Village. It was wonderful, but not as great as all that printing that's just spout out behind me. All right.
Wow, that was amazing.
Sorry about that. But there you go.
So where we're at number 2s now.
Number twos.
Dave.
Dave, why don't you go and do a number two?
My number two is Balatro.
Ooh.
Nice.
Do we need to wait to talk about Balatro?
I think we need to wait. Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's fair enough. All right, then we'll guess we're on to Neil's number two. Let's see if we can guess. Let me think.
Oh, go on then. I bet you can't.
No, I can't be bothered.
I haven't finished this game.
It's not good. It's not going to be good radio with me.
I haven't finished this, so it has got potential to go horribly wrong.
Oh yeah.
But the amount of game I've played so far, and I think there's still quite a chunk to do, to be fair, so it could go horribly wrong. But
I know.
Go on. What?
Sorry, I got dog trouble now, which is driven by my wife, who's now coming through. She printed all that out from her car. That's how I know.
Outrageous.
Oh, wow. I know. Can you believe it?
We should be popping in to say hello shortly.
Is it Indiana Jones?
It fucking is Indiana Jones.
Wow.
And the Great Circle.
Boy.
Yeah. The more I play, the more I like it.
That's what I'm hearing.
It's so it's a first person game, which obviously a lot of people are like, I'm not sure about that, but I'm Indiana Jones, so I see through his eyes, whereas I don't see his back as in a third person game. Unless he swings on his whip or does like something slightly cinematic, it zooms out into like a third person view and you do all that shit in third person. And all the cutscenes are obviously played out. Doesn't do a Bethesda on you, and you stand there in front of someone gormless having a conversation or whatever. It does a full, it's a bit old fashioned in a way.
Yeah.
Like it goes into a proper cutscene and you just sit back and watch. And it plays out like a scene from an Indiana Jones movie. And I'm like, this is quite cool. And if it was just an Indiana Jones movie so far, I'd be like, this is a pretty good Indiana Jones movie. And I'm quite enjoying it. And then I get to do all of the Indiana Jones shit in first person in the meantime, in between watching all the movie shit. So, yeah.
It's a bit of a surprise, this one, isn't it? Because I'm hearing from a lot of people the same sort of thing. They're playing it, and then they're like, okay, whatever. It's a bit different. Maybe it's a bit whatever. And then the more they're playing it, they're falling. It feels like the more people play with it, they start to fall in love with it.
Yeah, I'm just just doing it's different things. Like most of the time, you're sneaking around and I'm just being Indiana Jones, and you don't kill anyone. Obviously, Indiana Jones doesn't kill anyone really. Doesn't shoot people, does he? Not like what's his face, the other guy who does tomb raiding. That's not Lara Croft. PlayStation 1, Nathan Drake.
Oh,
he just murders billions of people, or not people, depending on which part of the game you're in. And Indiana Jones doesn't kill people. He might punch someone and they might fall into a propeller blade or something like that.
so they died on in an accidental.
Well, yeah, he doesn't really do that. He didn't do the punch that pushed the guy into the propeller blade. It's like the propeller was just turning and he just happened to be there, and he's like, "There's a propeller blade behind you, mate. You might want to move." And he just. That was in a film, obviously. That was in the game. So yeah, he doesn't really kill people. So most of the game, you don't really you have good fisticuff fights. You have a lot of fisticuffs in this game, and sometimes first person fisticuffs are a bit shit. But I'm actually, since I say the other week, I've put a couple of the buttons on my right thumb mouse button. It's actually really improved the combat quite a lot. And it's quite easy to just get your fists up and block a punch, and then when you block a punch, you push them back and you get an opportunity to wallop them. And there is loads of fucking stupid jank NPC stuff going on where they're looking at a wall or whatever. There's a guard and they're looking at a wall, something so that you can sneak up behind them and doff them in the back of the head with something. But it does stuff you pick up. There's just loads of shit lying around that you can pick up to hit people with, like brooms.
Oh well, that scratches your
itch, doesn't it? But it's that's what he does in the films when you think about it. It's there's a bottle there. He just smashes a bottle or whatever, and lobs it at something, and all that sort of stuff. It all happens in all the films, and if you manage to successfully sneak up behind someone with like a broom, like a big sweepy broom, you can like it goes like the cursor kind of goes a different shape, and you click the button to do the attack, and instead of just like walloping over the back of the head, he like cracks them up in the bollocks from underneath their legs or something and drags them to you, and then he like punches them in the back of the head or something.
Nice.
It does all like little stuff. There's like, depending on what you're holding, he does like little different attacks, sneaky sneak attacks. But luckily for you, even if there's someone 5 yards away, they don't notice that you've interacted someone to like unconscious. So yeah, like I say, there's all that. It's like this makes no sense whatsoever, as in if this was really happening. But it's great from what I've played so far. And like I say, it could massively shit the bed in the last part of the game, but I feel like it's unlikely. From a lot of people saying how great it is, I feel like that's not going to happen. And it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. So I'm in the third or fourth area now. But yeah, it does that whole, it's just like, globe-trotting Indiana Jones shit. You get the little map thing, the red line on the map goes wherever you're going. Goes to a place where obviously you do a little sleepover and you fuck off to somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's great. It's fucking great.
Yeah, that's good. Is there a roadmap for this game? Anything else coming up for it? Did they said anything?
I don't know.
I think
honestly.
there is some DLCs.
Is there?
Yeah, I just had a look at the wiki. There is some DLCs planned. There's no sequel planned as of yet, but they're looking.
Wouldn't be surprising though, eh? I think it's done all right. So.
It's very well received. Yeah.
Look out for it on PlayStation sometime in the future.
And
yes,
Switch 2.
Check it out.
Maybe that's one of the Xbox games that's coming to Switch 2.
Yes.
Maybe. Can Switch 2 run it?
Who knows?
Okay. Number 2? Is it my number 2?
I guess so.
Number 2.
Well, who's going to guess what my number 2 is?
Showdown.
Correct.
I wasn't going to say it was going to be number 1.
No, I couldn't not put Hunt Showdown in. I think a little part of me might have done a kneel and left it off, because we obviously play so much of it. But then every year I always put them in anyway. But I think the game's just gone from. Now I say the game has gone from strength to strength. So we had a massive change. The game basically was pretty much re-released this year. So they went from Hunt Showdown to Hunt Showdown 1896, I think it's called now. New engine basically brought it up from the old engine. Now they're into the new engine, which was, here's our intention for this game to keep going for the future.
Yeah. It's not working on Xbox One or PS4 anymore, I assume, because that's not available on those platforms anymore, is it? It's only a PS5 and Xbox Series now.
Oh, possibly.
Console-wise, we don't bother ourselves with console peasantry. So.
No, but yeah, I don't think the older consoles can support it, and I don't see why they should anyway. So, but yeah, it just consistently delivers. I mean, there's two things which are just stand out. One is the absolute utter laugh. We have it's great, man. For socializing for us is fantastic. I mean, I love it. I mean, all of us, we can all point to almost all of us who play it, we can point to a time when we've had an absolute blast playing it. I mean, but last night I was playing with Defo. Him and we decided that all we were going to do was trap up the boats in Bounty Clash. Oh my God, it was just a brilliant night. Like one of the best nights on Hunt I can recall having. It was just
messing with
brilliant.
people.
And that was it. We totally ignored the objective. You're still playing the objective of the game because
you're just letting someone do most of the work.
Oh, I mean, it was filthy. There was one of the games. We trapped up the exit. Everyone got killed except for us and the two bounty holders. And we suddenly realized they were bolting for the exit. And we ran after them. And as we were coming close, we just heard thump, thump. And the two of them had just, within a second of each other, hit the traps on the boat. And we just come along and just go, yoicks, we'll have that. Thank you very much. It's utter filth. It's terrible. But the combat's great. We had great fights and just adventures, isn't it? It's just adventures
Yeah.
with your friends. And they've done I think they just do they've done a tremendous job with
Events.
the events, yeah. And they do an event, it lasts for 2 months, then they have a break for 2 weeks, and they bring you another event. And it seems like you could easily step back. I mean people that obviously there are complainers, and people will step back and go, oh, they got to stop changing everything up. But I love it. It keeps it interesting.
It keeps
They
it
give us
fresh,
new
doesn't it? Keeps
keeps it
you
fresh all
coming
the
back for
time.
more. Like,
Yeah.
you could get stale otherwise.
Yeah, and
I
they've
mean-
delivered this year. I mean, they changed the engine. I mean, it was a dog's breakfast when they brought out the new engine. Like it's still not brilliant, the UI. But once you get past all that
I
shit,
feel
and
like you're
getting
just
new
going to get
games,
used to it. Like, you must be getting used to it now.
I'm getting used
Can
to it.
you
I don't
really
think
remember
I
how it
still
used to
don't.
be? And how
It's
that
still
was
not
shit?
great. It's still a very convoluted mess. I don't think anyone can say
You're getting
otherwise.
used to it, though. You got,
Well, you have to, right? I mean, it's
you've done a
But
couple of 100 hours since they've changed it now. So
I put up with it. It's fine. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean that I still give them a pass on it. I still think it's pretty jank. But it's just it's great, and I don't begrudge them. They got to monetize it and make money, and I'm quite happy to throw shekels at them every
Who's the
so
next
often.
celebrity in? Because it's Post Malone, by the way, if people don't know at the moment. Post Malone, you may have heard of him if you're younger than us lot. He's the main dude in the current event. First time they've had a real celebrity in it, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
They had the Ghostface character that didn't go down too well with certain sections, like Ghostface as in Scream. There was an 1890s version of him. But
I think they're very aware. They have to be careful not go down the PUBG Fortnite route, right? Of just
we can't have people running around in fucking
ears
Nicki
and all that.
Minaj costumes and shit.
No, and plus, the gameplay of Hunt is very balanced. They have to be very careful that they don't upset the balance with character
They
skins.
say that, but they keep bringing out these new, because you always have, there's access to special powers which tailor your builds that you have, because you can only, there's several different types of weapon. You got your basic shotguns, your basic rifles, and your pistols, and then in amongst that there's certain different types of pistol that fire a different way, which a trait that you might be able to pick up, a magic power, may make it work better in certain scenarios, and same with like shotguns or rifles. But every event always brings out some totally busted, like, what the hell, this can't possibly stay in the game type special power. Like, you're running around now and you can
never does.
use telepathic power to kill zombies within 25 meters or whatever. And there's been, I don't know what else have we had. People, the ability to leap into another zombie body and kill it is still in the game. That was an event thing that's stuck around.
But they do adjust it, right? They debuffed it a lot as well. They you couldn't
you can't do certain enemy types and things like that.
Yeah. But they keep it fresh, and it just still delivers. It's great. I have such a laugh with it. I love it.
The key thing is the combat. It's not Call of Duty. Let's put it that way.
Oh, absolutely. It's not Call of Duty. But, you can play aggro, or you can play, reserved. You can play a sniper. You can play shotguns. You can do whatever you like and tailor the game to how you want to play it. I mean, sometimes we've gone out without any intention of encountering anyone, right? Just trying to avoid encounters and just pick up collectibles and stuff and just
I don't do that very often.
No, that's more Matt and I, the prestigers. But yeah, it's Hunt Showdown. We've talked about it 100 times, so let's move on from there. That was my number 2. So I guess it's now on to the number 1s.
Number 1s.
Do we need another break now for number 1s?
No. Okay, then are we stay in order then, Dave? Do you want to?
Yeah, I'll go for number 1. My number 1 of this year is a little game called Satisfactory.
Hey.
Okay.
I haven't talked about it much so far. To be honest, I've
Then you've been playing it quite a lot recently.
I've been playing it quite a lot recently. I played it a little bit when it went to 1.0, which was in September, October. And I've got into it again over Christmas, and my focus had changed. I basically I went into the game originally as a factory building game, and originally I thought it's not got it's a 3D Factorio, and yeah, I originally went into it as a factory game, like Factorio, just build a factory and carry on. The resource nodes are endless, so there's no moving about. It's just pure factory. And then with the 1.0, and what I've actually recently realized, it's not only a factory game. That it's got a really good story aspect in it, and it's a lot more exploration. You're navigating around the world. You're like you actually there's hidden things to find that help you along the way. Um, and on top of that, it's a really good 3D building game as well, much like Minecraft or Valheim. Valheim was a brilliant had brilliant building mechanics. Satisfactory when it's not only about building a factory, it's actually aesthetically a very good building game. So whereas I would literally just plop down the factories to build what I want and sort of progress through the tiers of the milestones and to build a space elevator and all that. With 1.0 came loads of changes, which were absolutely amazing for actually how you played the game. Before 1.0, to build anything, you had to have all the materials on you. Now you have to find resources to build what they call quantum sinks, where you basically put items into the cloud and you can build from anywhere from that. And that's another aspect of that you've got to build into what you're actually creating, is that you've got to set some aside to put into your cloud inventory. But yeah, just navigating around as well. Now I've got a bit more further. I've got like access to jump jets, and I'm exploring, and it's such a beautiful game. So yeah, you get onto like some of the high hills, and look down on your tiny bit of the factory, which you think is a massive factory, but you look across the whole expanse of the actual open of the world, and it's like a speck, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's brilliant, really good. It's yeah, absolutely love it. Brilliant factory game. The time that you actually time that I spend working out the inputs and outputs and the how many resources you got to put in to get a specific one out. It's quite a lot. It's quite very complicated, but also at the same time you I'm also building them and I'm trying to encase these sort of micro factories and create little sort of nice things to look at around the world, because I know um, it's not only about the building of these things. It's like actually I want to create a world um, where it's pleasing. And I love playing with trains as well. So I've got into trains, and I've been crashing trains into it to one another. Yeah, it's so stupid. It's yeah, uh, great. I've just been hammering it again now. So, and I'll definitely be playing it this year. Satisfactory.
Satisfactory #1. Yeah, I've got this
Yeah,
loaded up, and I still haven't played it.
the factory must grow.
It must.
It must. Yeah. What you got it on?
It's Steam.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is
I've been
that cross-play
looking
with
at
Epic? Is it?
yeah, it's crossplay. Yeah, that it's Epic and Steam at the moment. They haven't done a console version yet. I think that they're looking at doing that.
Which 2 launch game?
Yeah. I've been really considering doing a dedicated server on this, but nobody's playing at the moment. So yeah, if there is anybody playing,
How come Arnie's not playing?
He doesn't play Satisfactory, does he?
He doesn't play Satisfactory. Not that I'm aware of. He might jump in, and tell us different. But yeah, I'm not sure if it might not be. It's not as complicated as
There's
things
no
like Instant
scripting.
PlayStation is. There's no scripting.
It's too dumb.
But
Oh, he has got it. He says he has got it.
I'll be talking to Arnie after this. Yeah, that's my number one game of 2024.
All right.
Oh, he hasn't
Okay.
played apparently. So there you go.
Yeah.
You can be the teacher. You can be the master. Always two there are, apparently.
Well, if Fraser's going to get in, we could have a whole.
You can only have two.
I'll be playing Hunt. All right then, Neil, what you got for number one?
Well.
Ooh, can I guess?
Go on, you can guess.
You said it wasn't Gran Turismo 7. I have a feeling it's probably Shadow of the Erdling.
Erdtree.
Erdtree.
Yeah.
You would be correct.
All right.
You could say it's just Elden Ring. But Shadow
even
of
as
the
someone who doesn't play it knows that it's more than that, right?
Like, before it came out, this is Shadow of the Erdtree expansion, I was back in playing some Elden Ring, mopping up some stuff that I hadn't done before, and just reminded how absolutely amazing the game is. Just phenomenal. Like, that whole Souls-like combat. But I'm at like fucking, I don't know what level. I mean, from the expansion, doesn't matter what level you are in the original game, you basically start fresh. There's a whole new leveling system for the expansion. So you could be level like 500 or whatever, destroying everything in the normal world, and then go into Erdtree, and you have basically starting all over again. That's how they level the playing field. Or you could be on your 10th, 15th playthrough. When you go into Erdtree, it's all different. Because it's like an alternate dimension. So it's a whole different story, different characters, some different enemies, some of the same enemies. But it's just the best game ever made. So any year I play that game, it's fucking number one, isn't it? So, yeah. If you haven't played Elden Ring, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
I think you've said those exact words before.
Probably, but you know, it's
have they
not Dark
what they're
Souls.
Do next?
I've today had an email, and I responded to my email finally when the servers weren't completely busted on their website, because I guess it wasn't that popular. Is the Elden Ring Night Rain spin-off game has a network test coming up in February. So registrations were open today. I don't know if they're still open. But once I'd completed my registration, it says, thanks for registering. You'll receive an email if you're successful in getting into the network test. So we'll see. I've opted for PS5 playthrough. But that's now Elden Ring Night Rain this year. This year's game of the year. Spoiler.
Yeah, we already know next year. Yeah, okay.
Is a multiplayer extraction type version of Elden Ring, where a game lasts 45 minutes.
Didn't they make Elden Ring multiplayer?
It is you can sort of multiplayer it. You can mod it to get 100% multiplayer, but all of the Souls games have had a multiplayer aspect to it. You can see the shadows of other people walking around always.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like,
you can actually call in to someone to come and assist you in boss areas, usually in all of the Dark Souls and Elden Ring games. But yeah, Night Rain, the new one that's coming out this year, is like there's 3 of you, and yeah, a game lasts 45 minutes. Every time you start a new game, you start from scratch, and you can level up during the 45 minutes based on like murdering shit. And yeah, looks interesting. An interesting take on the Souls-like from the originators of the genre. So
Mm.
I'm looking forward to that. I will be buying that day one, I imagine,
Of course.
somewhere. Yeah, it will be fun to catch up with some other people, some like-minded folk, or maybe convert some extraction type folk to the game. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, the Arceus expansion, it's not as good as the original game, I guess. The bosses aren't as interesting. There's some mad fucking bosses. But the base game's got some of the best boss fights in it I've ever done, so. But it's quite familiar territory for people who've been playing since Dark Souls days, I guess. A lot of the enemies are sort of, I recognise this kind of enemy type. Or they're a bit different to the originals, obviously, but they look a bit nicer, for sure. Nicer is not the right word. They look a bit more detailed. And more grotesque, potentially.
Yeah, but I admit, I mean, Elden Ring, and then my son played Elden Ring, and then he played the expansion.
Yeah, because he wasn't ready to. He bought the Erd Tree expansion, but when it came out, he was not. He had not done the requirements. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to go off and do whatever it was. But damn, I tell you, man, it's just. And my son is like me. We're just 1080p, nothing special. But every time I walked past his PC and he was in a boss fight, it just stopped me in my tracks. So it looked so amazing every time. Very impressive.
Sometimes the camera does get a bit jank when you get up in a corner. You don't want to go in the corners in a Dark Souls game because the camera starts having a fit. But yeah, there's just nothing quite like it. Well, there are things that try and be like it, but there's nothing really like it. So
yeah, nice. All right.
Inevitability of #1 this year.
And next year, by the sounds of it.
Well, we'll see. I'm playing some good games right now that are going to have to push into next year. Indiana Jones couldn't wait, but there's some other games that I've got on the go that you never know.
All right. Well, my #1 doesn't need any announcing. You guys know what that is.
Well, we've mentioned it twice already.
You both had it on
so
your
now
list
we get to talk about it.
Yeah, so it's Balatro. I don't mind. You guys both had it on your lists. Dave, did you have something you wanted to? I mean, again, it's something we've talked about 1,000 times, and
it's great on a Steam Deck.
You were more into it than I was at the start.
I think I got you into it. Like,
yeah, maybe.
I started playing it and like sharing my screen with you, and you were watching along, and you're like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And
yeah,
I was like, doing a few screen shares of. I got into a couple of million once, and you were like, oh, fucking hell. And then that was it. You were off. You saw the numbers. You saw the some of the hands, and it was just like ticking along, and that was it. You just went off on one. Like you're watching all the YouTube vids, and
you went down the Balatro hole.
I went to university. I went to Balatro University for a few weeks.
Yeah. What a game. It just the concept is so simple, and if you don't know it, it's easy to pick up. All great games, easy to pick up, like hard to master. And it's once you start understanding and getting the multipliers and working your way down. Okay, right, like building a deck and building your cards in one direction to get a really good run. Just the satisfaction that you get after and well, as long as you look forward, the amount of times that I've come to the end of not the blind, is it the blind? The end, the big one, and it was like, okay, no, so none of your hearts work. You're like, damn it!
I built my whole deck around it.
Yeah.
No, you have to get into the habit of looking at which boss is coming every time you start a new ante.
The amount of times I've been like, my whole run, it's been completely derailed because I just didn't look at the boss at the end.
Well, you can only get to see like the 1 ahead at each time, can't you? You can't like the 2 bosses down could completely screw you.
Yeah,
but you can't prepare for them. If you get into, and this is funny because I played it. I think yesterday morning I woke up. It was like about 7:30. I was like, I'm not getting out of bed till 8. Let me just pick up Balatro, and I started playing a game. And I think on the second ante, I looked at what boss was coming up, and I realized, and I was like, oh shit, I need to prepare for him. And then I was like, I'm not going to be done this by 8:00. And I realized how much thinking I had to do, and I was like, nah, fuck that. Just put it aside. Didn't finish it. I was like, I'm not getting into that now, because I know that if I apply myself, I can almost. I'm sure if I apply myself and do that was it.
You think any run that you get given, you can complete at least?
I would say on a normal deck, concentrating, really concentrating, and making sure you don't make stupid mistakes, because you don't realize it, but there's so much minutiae in every round, and it sounds like, oh, I don't want.
Well, even playing the hound, like playing that round, like the amount of times that you can just skip it because you've played in, or you've gone in such a direction that you don't actually have to play that round. You can skip it and you get bonuses.
Yeah, the bonus is worth more to you than maybe playing the hand.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, you sometimes it's in your favor to do things that you never imagine are in your favor to do. Like, if you've got gold jokers in your hand, you might play your hands rather than your discards, right? Because I'm strong enough to get through, but I want to dig those gold cards out. Yeah, it's going to cost me $1 every time I play a hand, but if I can find one of those gold cards, I'm going to make $2, right? Yeah. It's just great. It just kept delivering, and I just felt like I felt I turned a corner when I treated the game like I was building an engine. So a little bit maybe like Factorio or Satisfactory or something like you. You're almost factory building. Like, there's an input of cards and your collection of jokers and what you've created and the way you're positioning yourself. You've basically created an engine, and the economy is part of that engine. The points generation is part of that engine. And when it starts to tick and everything starts to fall into place, it's lovely, right? It's just great. It's great. And then something fucks you up later. It's brilliant. But yeah. And then you had this, Neil, as well, at number 3.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know if was I the first one on it originally? I don't remember.
Maybe. You like to make a claim to being first to game.
I feel like I was.
It's all right. Well, we can give it to you if you want. I know
But
secret note was
I was in and out a bit quicker than you were, for sure.
Yeah.
And I never went to the depths that you went to. But I was quite happy once I finished a few runs. But I wasn't going through and doing all the decks and all of that. You just took it to a whole nother level of
mate, I can tell you there was one time when I was so deep into figuring some stuff out that I even started to scare myself. I was like, you have never thought this deep about anything. What is going on? What is wrong? But yeah, I loved it. I really want them. If I had one wish list for this game right now, I really want them to make mods easier. I've tried to mod on Steam. It's not straightforward. It's probably not terrible and doable, but it wasn't easy. It was not easy enough for me to get it done.
What sort of mods are you looking for?
There's just some absolutely. There's quality of life improvements. Lots of quality of life improvements. I can't give you an example. So let me give you an example. Say you're stockpiling. Say you've got Perkeo, who is the legendary Joker who will duplicate for you consumables in your hand. You can get to a point where you have like 20, 30 different cards in your consumable section, right? Negatives.
Right.
And then you can get quality of life where it will tell you how many are there rather than you having to sort of sift through them, because it gets really fiddly if you have lots of cards. And that's just an example.
Well, you're thinking of modding it just on the Steam version then, or like?
No, I would like
iPad.
them to have mods available for. I would like them to do official mods, basically, and I think that will come at some point. I can't see any reason why not.
Is modding things a thing on the iPad? I don't know. I've never really heard of that.
No, but what I mean is I think that the community is making. I think Balatro can do. On the iPad, it would have to be official mods, I would imagine, right? Like basically,
Apple ain't gonna like
that. Sorry, but it's just content. Let's not call it mods. On the iPad, it would be content. on Steam it's mods, and I think that they could make it easier. Definitely think they could make it easier, but I guess
Is
they're
there
probably
workshop
busy.
stuff there? Like, is it allow? Because you basically need it to allow Steam Workshop, and then people can fucking just
No,
fuck with
there's
it or whatever.
something else going on there that where you have to start. I don't know. Anyway, look, I'm not sure. Anyway, I didn't find it easy enough. I did do mods once, and it worked, but it screwed up going back to try and play the game normally. Then I had to basically run 2 copies of it, whatever. But like, there are some fan-made decks that are absolute batshit insane. Like, just absolutely off the wall, off the charts, fucking insane. To the point where you probably spend 5 to 10 minutes just trying to figure out what a card does, let alone use it. But yeah, I'd like to muck around with that. But yeah, it's fantastic. The iOS version was brilliant as well.
Yeah,
it worked really well. They really knocked.
I've not really dabbled with it, honestly. I find my time's limited. I'm working more hours these days, and I find my time's limited, especially once I've put 20 hours of hunting in a week, and I'm like,
Well,
that kind of cuts down the time everywhere else.
Yeah, there's only so many hours in the game. I don't think I've played. I don't even think I've played the PC version since the iPad version came out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is nice, but that's what I always knew was going to be it lends itself to it perfectly. So, yeah, but yeah, what a game! And I will give a shout out as well. Neil, you're right about, it's just, or was it Dave who said, it's just this. Neil, you said it, this brilliantly simple concept or whatever like that, but there's also so much more than that. And then if you take a step back and really look at the way he's built it, like the way the cards move, the little sounds, the aesthetics behind, if you start to go look at planetary cards, the whole background changes and it starts to go nice and trippy and there's a new music. I mean, the whole aesthetic of it is
Are you still, what I need to know is, have you still got the music on?
No. No, I think the music has to go. When you're putting in, I've got free.
It's a good little ditty. It's like I can listen to that. And it doesn't bother me. It's just like that. It just goes on forever. It never stops. It doesn't fade out. It just keeps going.
Is it up there with like the Minecraft?
I guess I can't remember the Minecraft tune, honestly. But it's not. Is it a Wii store music banger of all time? I don't know.
I would say it's different than that. It's a little bit more mellow.
Yeah, it's just like I don't tire of it. I don't tire of it. I just like it's just there. I'm like, it's non-offensive, and I can hear it in my head now.
Yeah, maybe I should bang at it. Maybe I should bump it up to a 1 or a 2 and have a listen.
Just there in the background. Just take the edge off.
Yeah, but it's lovely. It's so well made.
Yeah, incredible work for one person.
Yeah, isn't it? I think one person, but yes, but he's got a tremendous interaction with community and.
But no one knows who he is, though. No one knows who he is, though, do they?
I'm not
He's
sure.
like anonymous. I mean, he has a name, but no one knows his actual name.
I'm not sure.
He's got like, what's his Sonic Thunk?
Local Thunk.
Yeah, he's Local Thunk. Yeah, that's his name, but it's not his real name, obviously. No, that'd be a really odd real name.
I think it's Canadian, right?
All the best things come from Canada. Establish this.
They do.
Except for freedom, obviously, because that was born in the United States.
And the Chinese virus, apparently. I think we sent it over to them, according to some people.
Did you?
There you go. Yeah.
Well done, you.
Yeah. Anyway, what a point to finish on. Yeah, Balatro, brilliant. I just love it. Just love it. God, talk about value for money. Unreal. And it really, I just love the fact that something like that comes out of left field. It's just brilliant. Yeah. It happens every year. You think, no way will anyone ever make a game that great again. And then before you know it, they do it. And to do it with such a simple concept is unreal. It's, So yeah, that's my number 1.
Yeah, all right, good game. Well, good game. Yeah, GG.
GG's. Okay, well that is.
Have you got some numbers then?
I've got some numbers. I've put the link of the spreadsheet that I created. I just need eyes on it just to make sure. I couldn't work out how to show the duplicates.
Oh, but, yeah.
I've done the final list, and as far as I can see, there's no duplicates, and I've tallied up the points.
I've had to request access.
Oh god. Oh, I'll be on my phone. Sorry.
Send it. good radio.
It is.
Good
Always the
radio.
best radio, this bit.
Yeah,
Fine silence is
there you
quite
go.
therapeutic.
There you go. Yeah. So... right, Fraser. There we go. You now have access as editor on that.
Brilliant. Thank you.
But I think definitely Balatro is number one.
We both
Final
had it. We
list.
all had it in the top 5.
We all had
and
it on the
someone
top
else
5.
did. Did someone else or not?
Someone else
No,
did.
they didn't. They didn't.
No?
It was honourable mention.
Oh no, that was Pilch. That was Pilch taking the
Yeah,
piss.
we're not-
But
And he spelled it wrong.
no. And
So we had 31 different games, and it looks as though, yep, we have Balatro at number 1 with 12 points.
yeah,
Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree with 10 points at number
that's
2.
right.
Fix.
Two
Fix.
first.
Where's Starfield?
Dragon Dogma 2 at number 3 with 7
Nice.
points.
Yeah.
Satisfactory at 4th with 5 points, and Alan Wake 2 at 5th.
Yeah, I put that one as my at the top because that was my number 1.
Oh, actually, hang on. 1, 2,
we got
3. Oh, they're
Black
all
Ops
joints, aren't they?
and Alien
Well,
Isolation.
we've got a lot of
yeah.
joint fourths.
We've got a lot of joint fourths because a lot of people on firsts.
It's because we had so many different games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be. It's a shit top 5 because there's no Astrobot.
I'm sure there must be some way we could differentiate those, but yeah, generally, I mean, that's what's important. I think the top 3 anyway is a fair top 3.
Say it was top 3 again. Balatro, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree,
Elden Ring, Dragon
Dogma 2.
Dragon's Dogma 2. Should probably play that, shouldn't we?
Yeah, probably.
Arnie's angry that for Solitaire and Minesweeper aren't in the top 5.
Ha ha.
If it had put his
send your fucking list in on
yeah. That would have tied for 4th. Whatever one of those you wanted as was number 1.
All you needed to do was plop it at number 1. Yeah. All right. Well, look, thanks everyone for sending in lists. Once again, brilliant. Enjoy it. Game of the year is excellent. Love it. It's nice to go back and get a recap like that. Yeah, I don't know if there's any more to say. I could say that's the show.
Are we doing predictions next week?
Oh, yeah. Okay, predictions next week. We usually anybody wants to send in? We do top. What do we do? Top 3.
We only have 3 usually each.
3 predictions.
3 predictions for the gaming
for
industry
the coming
year. We'll go over what our predictions were for last year first. See if we nailed any of those. If you have 3 predictions you'd like to make, I can't remember. Did we have any predictions from other people that we kept last year?
Honestly, can't remember where that went. If it did,
no. But anyway, if you got anything you want us to read out,
we need to set up a new Discord channel for that. I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, people know how to message us. Or if they don't, Dave.
You can contact us directly on email at sealpodcast@gmail.com. You can contact us on a Discord server. A link is pinned on Twitter, Blue Sky, Acast, YouTube, which is at sealpodcast or at sealpodcast. And go to our website, which is at sealpodcast.com, and email us directly from the link from the form on page.
You know what we forgot to do?
What?
You
didn't do Craig, have you?
We didn't bring Craig in.
You fucking muppets. That's your job.
Oh, no.
That's
all right. We can grab the audio.
Brilliant.
There's a big message on the show notes. Craig, ! Remember to check me.
That's all right. Twitch is going to save us.
I saw Craig's last one, and yeah.
Do we do a backup?
No, I didn't press record on my.
No worries. All right. Well, Twitch will save us, right, Neil? You're gonna help us with that, right?
Hopefully,
right,
as long as that hasn't fucked up.
Yeah, no, it'll be good.
You could do an audio from YouTube.
Perfect.
It's only on Twitch.
Are we on YouTube? We're only on Twitch.
No,
put it to YouTube and then download it.
Anyway, it's fine. We don't need to talk about that now.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully, this show will appear tomorrow or later tonight if we get.
Otherwise, You won't hear this.
Well, we know you come to expect this consummate professionalism from us as usual. We intend to continue with it through 2025. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll catch you later. Bye.
See you soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye.